What's going on, family? This is your boy, Brandon Scott. Welcome back to season 2. We're in season 2 of Kickback Conversations. We are so excited to have you guys back with us. Man, was 2020 a doozy. And then in this installment, this episode, we will actually go through and we will find out what 2020, just kind of unpack it, have a year in review. We got some fun stuff in store for you. And I know some of you guys been like, when's the next season coming? And I'm like, yo, I'm coming. I got some great stuff coming. Got some guests lined up this season that you're gonna love. It's gonna be really an incredible season. So we are so excited. 2021 is upon us. 2020 is behind us. We made it through. I know it was hard, it was tough on many of us, but we made it through as a family, as a crew, as a network. I'm just gonna go unpack and go right into it, because I thought I told you that we won't stop. So we about to get it, all right? Y'all ready? So the number one thing, and this is not in any kind of order, but I wanted to just highlight some of the things that we experienced in 2020 that I think you guys should pay attention to. So some of the things that were very interesting to me were, number one, like COVID-19. We made incredible strides. We got a vaccine in 2020, that hopefully will help people not, pass away from this deadly pandemic. I know black folks were always like, we're in the line we're gonna be last. Black folks, actually look at a vaccine like we are the people who are not gonna be in the iPhone line when it first comes out. You know what I mean? We're waiting for all the software updates. We need y'all to figure it out. If there's any glitches, any of that kind of stuff, we're gonna be just at home, and we're gonna let y'all buy all the first ones, you know what I mean? And then we're gonna figure it out, That's how we look at vaccines, because we have a history in this country of us being the guinea pig, and it hasn't worked out for us too well. So that's one thing that we definitely see, and we definitely have learned when it came to COVID-19. But the good thing is, we checked on our loved ones in COVID-19. A lot of y'all, called your grandparents and called your auntie and cousin and them and whatever more than you normally would have, and you found ways to connect with them. You found ways to connect with them virtually that you never did before, right? And we always had some of this technology that was, a part of our life. I'm glad we got rid of Skype and we substituted with Zoom, because Zoom is so much better. It still, has some work to do, but it's so much better than Skype. And it's allowed you guys to have birthday parties and anniversary celebrations and just connecting on a high level with friends and game nights and all of those really cool things. And I just want to say that I thought that was really cool. That we, one of the good things that COVID-19 actually brought about, a level of creative connectivity. And I'm a creative, so I love creative ways to connect that we didn't have before. We also, we reflected on our life in COVID-19, you know what I mean? We just looked at a lot of things different, you know what I mean? I always say with dating, conversation is back. Conversation had been kind of to the side for a minute, ladies. I know y'all was just trying to get that brother thank you for that free meal, but we talking about that later. But no, conversation is back. People who could articulate and communicate on a high level and you enjoy talking to, they went to the forefront a little bit more. It was less about this or that, a third or whatever, and more about conversation was back. And I think that's a good thing. That's a positive thing that we can use and have going forward. Another thing that I thought was really, really key is, we just reflected on life and tried to figure out our life, right? We have a term get your life right, or I gotta get my life, and those kind of things. I'm gonna tell you about COVID-19 is a beast. COVID-19 is a gangster. It is not racist. It is not sexist. It don't care where you from, where you been. COVID-19 is just bro, I'm gonna get you. You know what I mean? So I think it made us reflect on things that are important: family, friends, positive relationships, maybe cutting people off that are not, bringing positive things in your life, toxic situations. COVID-19 made you guys wake up in a different way. And I think that was like so key. And it made us all better in that way of reflecting and slowing us down and those kind of things. So that's kind of the COVID thing. I want to keep it kind of light this episode. I don't want to get y'all down. I want to get y'all up because it's 2021. We got to be up, right? So COVID-19, I think, taught us a lot of different things about ourselves. And that was I think 2020 will always be the COVID-19 year. It'll always be the year. I mean, there's a lot of other things that happened in COVID-19 that were in 2020 that were major developments. But that one was huge. That one was undeniably huge. And I think that, we definitely have to look at, all the good things that came from it. And I might do an episode later on, talk about just some of the like blessings of COVID-19 that taught us, that made us better. But number 2, 2020 was the year of the king. You like what I did there? You about to find out what I'm about to do. It was the year of Tiger King, Blackiest King, and your boy Donald Trump trying to be a king. That's what 2020 was about. First and foremost, let's get to Tiger King, right? Tiger King was just one of those things that you watched and you could not believe what was going on. You couldn't it was like something that you were like, oh, this is crazy, but you couldn't turn away from it. That's what like Tiger King presented to all of us. And I just thought, man, whoa, Tiger King is off the chain. Like, who is this guy? Who is this? I mean, this guy he's a nut job, right? He was eccentric. He was ruthless. He thought he was going to be a star. I think my man tried to be a politician. He was all over the place. But we also learned about somebody else in Tiger King. We learned about this lady named Carol Baskins. And let me tell you about Carol Baskins. Because all of you all have a Carol Baskins in your life at one point or another. Have you ever had that quiet person who you went to school with that didn't say much and they would smile and everything like that, but you knew you could not trust them as far as you could throw them? That's Carol Baskins. Carol Baskins is a silent assassin. She's somebody who just ride her bike and smile and you'd be like, oh, okay. And then she would cut your throat. Carol Baskins is an assassin. And I really believe that COVID-19 is, as a result, we have it in this country because of Carol Baskins. I believe that everything that happened bad in 2020, Carol Baskins had something to do with it. She was behind it all. Even the recent Capitol riot, they might want to investigate your girl Carol Baskins. She is an assassin. She is that person who will smile in your face. But man, oh man, you better watch out for old Carol Baskins because she up to something. So Tiger King was just it was like an alarming thing. I know many people who are into animal cruelty that really hurt them to watch that, the way the animals were being treated and all of that. But man, it was entertaining to watch. And I think that Tiger King, Blackest King, I won't get much into it. Beyonce, she's Queen Bee. I know y'all love her. I can't say anything bad about Beyonce because I don't want to have the Beehive come for me. So Beyonce, you're great. Love you, B. And I'll leave it at that. And lastly, Trump tried to be king. Let's be honest with it. This dude made power moves, power plays. He does not want to get locked up like Akon and Young Jeezy. My man is scared as I don't know what. And he's trying to do anything he can to be a king so that rules do not apply to him. I'm gonna tell you, dude tried to make a power move. He did try to make a power move, but I'm gonna tell you, every dog has its day. And a hit dog will holler. So I'm gonna tell y'all right now, it's not looking good for your boy in 2021. I don't know what's gonna happen with Trump. I don't know, but it's not looking good. He's already been impeached a second time, the first president in history to have 2 impeachments on his record. So we're gonna see what happens. I know all of us are anxiously awaiting to see how this whole saga will end. But this was the year of the king, all right? Number 3. It was a year of new TV shows that caught our attention that we, I don't know, because I think people are watching way more TV than ever because of COVID-19. You can't go any places, that kind of stuff like that. can't go to the movies and all that kind of stuff. So, streaming was at an all-time high, whether it be Netflix or Amazon Prime or Hulu or Disney Plus or Apple TV or all of those different, streaming services. So we just I think if you have real friends, they put you on or something, right? They call you up, they be like, yo, did you watch this ad? Yo, did you see this one? And you're like, whoa. Shout out to my boy Tony. This show he didn't put me on, so I was mad at him. He was watching it, and I was like, bro, you ain't called me? This is a good show, though. The show is The Undoing with Nicole Kidman, Hugh Grant. Man, if you haven't seen it, you gotta see it. It was an incredible show. Shout out to David Kelly. He did a great job on it. I mean, man, it was so... it didn't end the way that I wanted it to. And a lot of shows sometimes are so good, I think the writers kind of run out of steam. But it was a really good show. He did his thing on that. And I think that everybody should enjoy it. It's just, if you like suspense, The Undoing is definitely one of those things. And Nicole Kidman, she's always in those kind of you don't know what's gonna happen and stuff like that. And I think she always is the one doing stuff, but she's trying to get away with it because she low-key plays these roles like a Karen. But that's a whole nother conversation. Bridgerton came out at the end of 2020, but this was a show that I think was so landmark because it showed Shonda Rhimes, a black woman, you guys know from Scandal and who's done Grey's Anatomy, for her to do a British style show like Downton Abbey, that was incredible to me. And she had and we got a black queen. I was like, hey, Shonda, we got a black queen in the building. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere Beyonce was like, yeah. And Michelle Obama was like, yeah. You know what I mean? It was such a beautiful thing to see that. And Bridgerton was a show that had some suspense, had some treachery and all those different things. But the way that it was shot in that kind of British feel, to see black people, because a lot of these shows you watch, the only black people you might see is the servants, right? You know what I mean? To see black people who are queens and dukes, I think that was a dope thing to see for 2020 going into 2021. And also, another show was The Last Dance, Michael Jordan's Last Dance. Come on, man. This show had everything in it. It was just showing how Michael Jordan was all sides of him, but he was a ultimate winner, super competitor at the apex. His relationship with Phil Jackson and Scottie Pippen and all those different things. But my favorite part of the show, all those things being said, was when Michael Jordan was in the back of the bus. And we've seen the memes, but bro, what were you listening to? He's talking about he listened to Kenny Lattimore. Kenny Lattimore sings For You I Will. You can't be bopping like this. For You I Will? Kenny Lattimore has nothing in his catalog, shout out Kenny Lattimore, but that is making you bop like that. Bruh, you was listening to some, back in the day, once was some MC Hammer or something. You was not listening to no Kenny Lattimore. So Michael was trying to troll everybody, And the last show of 2020 that I wanted to address that I thought was interesting was just season 4 of Insecure, which arguably you could say was the best season. And you've seen my earlier pods. I'm an Insecure fan. I love the dynamics of relationships. Being somebody who is a relationship coach, I see all of these things, play out. I've had people I've worked with who remind me of these characters. So it's so intriguing to me to see, what's going to develop. Is Lawrence going to get back with Condola? Is it going to be Issa trying to, move and trying to make it work? And even though he has a kid, and these are all dynamics that many of you in our audience deal with, right? Dealing with somebody who has a child, how to navigate those things. Being in love with somebody, is that person going to get back with them? All of these different dynamics that we saw in season 4, I thought were brilliant. And I can't wait to see the last season 5 coming out this year in 2021. I just can't wait to see what they do. I think it's time. Even though I love Insecure, and I know many of y'all are mad Insecure is going away, I think it's time. I think Insecure has been so good, and you don't want to belabor it. You don't want to just keep having seasons to have seasons. But season 5, I think they can wrap, and they can have some really incredible moments that we will all appreciate and be able to talk about and see how it unfolds. All right, so we got through TV, right? Also in 2020, number 4, it's kind of funny, Steve Kornacki. If you guys don't know who Steve Kornacki is, he is the MSNBC political guy who's always working the screen. Whenever there's like a election night, he's that guy who everybody wants to see what he says because he seems like he's just tied in. Steve Kornacki has taken over the role from Tom Joyner as the hardest working man in America. This dude looks like he's never sleeping. I mean, I went to bed one night and Steve Kornacki was talking at 1 o'clock in the morning to the big board. I woke up the next morning. They were like, we're going to go to Steve. It was like 7 a.m. I was like, y'all give Steve a nap? Like, what is going on? And Steve just looked like he was just like, and also in Ohio, this precinct, they have 30,000 people, but if that votes, they normally do from that county, like he would just go and he would just be like this, you know? And Steve I'm gonna just say this, Steve brought khakis back. Justin Timberlake was trying to bring sexy back years ago. Steve Kornacki brought khakis back. He brought the whole prep look back. He was like, yo, I'm on TV. I know y'all out here wearing these fancy suits, but your boy, I'm be looking like I'm wearing the Dockers, baby. You know what I mean? So Dockers, I need to get with Steve. I don't know if y'all gonna do like a sponsor endorsement or something like that, but he brought khakis back for your boy. You know what I mean? I almost went out and bought a pair of khakis. Was like, yo, Steve, you know, you doing it, man. You out here working hard, bruh, with the khakis on. All right, number 5, George Floyd's impact on Black Lives Matter. And I think there's so much to unpack here. I'm just gonna do a brief one because I can talk for probably an hour about this. But I just feel like looking now and seeing how many white neighborhoods I've driven through and seeing so many signs of Black Lives Matter. You would have not have seen that before 2020, before what happened to George Floyd. And I think that was like a big thing to see, the protesting, like people actually peacefully protesting, wanting change. In the middle of a pandemic, we saw some of the biggest protests ever. And some of y'all saying, man, people was bored in the house and all that. But to put your life on the line for something that you believe in, like channeled to me like Martin Luther King, the spirit of Martin Luther King, of saying if a man is not fit to put his life on the line for something, he's not fit to live. Like, and I think that's the thing that really resonated with me with George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, those that we lost, and I think that was a thing that 2020 will be remembered by, because a lot of corporations, the Washington football team, who I root for, changed their name finally from that racist name. A lot of people paid attention and had to make change because we demanded it. We demanded to live in a society that, people hopefully are not judged and by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. And we're not there yet at all. But I feel like 2020 was like some extremely great progress to that end. And I think that, as Michael Che's famous comedy sketch now, Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Like mattering is like the least thing you could want, right? So I think that we hopefully in 2021 will have Black lives thriving, in so many different ways. And I'm proud of us as a people, all my kings and queens out there, let's get it, all right? So I think that was a beautiful thing to respond to a tragic death and killing of George Floyd. So that was a big part of 2020. Number 6, we lost one of the GOATs, Kobe Bean Bryant, one of the best. And I have a very unique relationship with Kobe Bryant because I, at one point, didn't like Kobe. And then I started to like him. Like it was weird because I was like, Kobe, and then I bought his jersey one time. I don't know. I just love the way that he played the game. I love his mentality. I use that Mamba mentality, they call it, a lot, in my own business and my own life, of just trying to be the best, show up every day, rain, sleet, snow, whatever the climate is of your life, show up and be the best of you. And not live in the land of excuses, but live in the land of fulfilling the expectations that are on your life and the promises on your life. I believe in that. And it gets hard because I think 2020, I had times, man, I was down, after the George Floyd thing, and I lost my grandmother, Kobe, it was so many different traumas that we all had, in 2020, that it was one of those things where it's like, man, but you got to have that mentality that you can win. you can win the next day, that you can turn the page and greater things await you. So this shout out to one of the greats. I mean, tragic death to him and his daughter who died in that accident. But we definitely appreciate all of the contributions of hard work. If you're a Kobe fan or not, doesn't matter. Like the dude worked hard. He didn't cheat the game. Like he gave it his all. Every time he stepped on the court, that can be a lesson for you in your life. Like give it your all. Like stop playing. Whatever you do, whatever business you're supposed to be doing, whatever ministry you're supposed to be doing, like whatever you're supposed to be doing in your community to serve humanity or whatever, like stop making excuses. Like get it going. Get that mama mentality and go get it, you know? So I think that was a big part of 2020, hopefully to lift our spirits after a tragic death, to have more of that mentality. All right, y'all, no, we getting through them. Number 7, we reimagine everything and became germaphobes. I don't know about y'all, but your boy, I used to go to movies like once a week. I love the movies. I had the movie, you know, The Past and all that stuff. Look, I don't know if I'm going to the movies again, bro. Like, I'm already kind of like a germaphobe on certain things, like, but yeah, I was like, with this vid, with that Rona, You know what I'm saying? It made us think about things differently, like going to the movies, like being on the airplane with the same air circulating. I don't care what they're talking about with the filters and all that. You know, we just like, I don't know, it's kind of dicey. You know what I mean? We started looking at like the shopping handles when you open the shopping, you know, shopping doors or malls or something like that. You know, everybody had that little white with them. Like, nah, I'm not gonna open that. I don't know these folks out here. You know what I mean? So it just made you think about things differently. And people who were not big on like personal space became big on personal space. Like, have you been in the grocery store during COVID and somebody was a little close to you and you was like, hey, my man, you need to back, all right, bro, you need to back up off me a little bit. I don't want to, like, I'm just trying to be in here and buy this guacamole, bro. I don't want no problems, you know what I mean? So that was the thing, like, that we saw. Like, we became germaphobes, like, real talk. Because we reimagined how we thought when it came to a lot of stuff that we thought was not that big a deal, maybe. It became a bigger deal. You know, we reimagined dating. Like, a lot of y'all was like, look, out here, y'all was like, nah, I'm not gonna date nobody, Brandon. I mean, I'm gonna just wait till this thing over and everything like that. I might go for a walk with somebody with a mask on, but that's about it. Like, we reimagined all of those different things in 2020. And I think that was a year of reimagining based upon the climate of what's going on and what we're seeing. All right, number 8. Versus kept us entertained. Oh, did it. Versus kept us entertained. I did an earlier pod last year about Teddy Riley and that whole fiasco and how much that was like amazing to watch and rewatch because it was so funny, and somebody who's had so much success to like know less about technology than my 13-year-old nephew. Like, that was, yeah, it was something to see. I just want to ask Swizz and them, like, can we do a versus of Teddy Riley versus Nelly? Because to me, like, they were the most like funny people on Versus. Like, I don't know how much money you need to make. Can you get a Wi-Fi that works? I know people who don't make that much money, but their Wi-Fi works on a consistent basis. It's not going in and out. Teddy Riley's and Nelly's Wi-Fi, and Nelly was blaming it on everything: the storms, the clouds, the atmosphere, the volcanoes in Hawaii. He was blaming it on everything. Bruh, your Wi-Fi is terrible. You needed to follow the instructions that they gave you to have a clear Wi-Fi. Because the whole time we saw Ludacris like this. Yo, Nell, you there? Hey, Nelly, Nelly, y'all see me clearly, right? That was literally the whole thing, you know what I mean? And I think Nelly was drinking a little bit too. He had a little something in that cup, but yeah, Versus kept us entertained. We got to hear the melodic tones of Babyface. We got to see, you know, Patti LaBelle and Aunt Gladys, you know, go at it. You know, from the Midnight Train in Georgia versus Patty Pie. It's like, it was so fun to see that. And everybody, shout out to all the kids who helped your parents figure that out. I was one of them. To help your parents figure out how to get on that Versus, to watch Patty versus Gladys. And I just love the way that they celebrated each other. Like, we don't see that anymore. It's too beautiful black women who've had amazing success, who were the biggest fans of each other. Patty was changing shoes every 10 minutes. Like, it was amazing to see that. And I think that was such a highlight of 2020. That was a night of so much music that, me as somebody who, didn't grow up, as my parents did, like listening and consuming a lot of Patty and Gladys. Even though my mom was a huge Patti LaBelle fan, but I knew some of the songs that I didn't think I knew. I was like, man, that's a good song. Okay, Gladys, you out here, So I think that was a great thing in 2020. A really strong highlight. Versus kept us entertained. When we was tired of being in the house, we was tired of looking at our walls, we was tired of doing the same thing, going for walks and doing this and doing that. Like, Versus came through, and delivered us from that like a midwife. And we appreciate it, Swizz and Timberland for doing that for us, because we needed Versus. Like, we needed it. So I'm so glad that we had it, and great things happened there. So, all right, number 9. This is y'all, I don't know if y'all thought about this. Most people would agree that Coming to America is one of the all-time best black movies. However you have it rated, it could be 1, 2, 3, whatever. In my lineup, Coming to America is number 2. It's number 2 as the best black movie of all time. I have 5 Heartbeats as number 1. But Coming to America 2 was supposed to come out this year in 2020, right? They pushed it back in 2021 this year. But man, the release of Coming to America 2, do y'all understand how big that is? Like, Coming to America 2. I hope they don't mess it up. But so much of our culture, and of people my age at least, is from Coming to America, from Sex to Chocolate. That boy good, he good. All of those lines that we had and we see are things from Coming to America. And I think Coming to America 2, just to have a release date, to have it in view that it's coming for us to partake and enjoy, I think is gonna be epic. Eddie Murphy, comedic genius when it comes to his characters he plays, from Randy Watson, to the guys in the barbershop, all of those different things. And I just hope that they really get, they bring it. The sad part about it is the lady who played his love interest in Coming to America 1, we hadn't really seen sis. I'm not gonna hold you. I ain't seen her in years. I was like, did she go in a hyperbaric chamber and never come out? Where's she been? She moved? Is she secretly living on a deserted island with Tupac? Where has she been? I ain't seen her in anything. So I'm glad that she's back, you know what I mean? And a lot of the characters are back. I think that it's gonna be so much fun to do it. I got my little projector screen and stuff. I'm gonna do a movie night. I'm gonna have fun. We gonna do it. I might have to Zoom in or house party in with some friends. We gotta make it an epic night, even if we can't get together by that time, because we ain't gonna have that vaccine by the time. So I just think that'll be a fun night, and I can't wait to it. I believe it's March 2021, so it's a couple months away, y'all. Let's get it. And the last thing in year in review for things that we saw in 2020 were phrases. There were phrases that were not in our everyday vocabulary that became mainstream phrases in 2020. I'm gonna give you a few. How about phrases like Zoom? Now, people, especially people over 50, 60, did not know. A lot of them didn't know what Zoom was. Now, Zoom, everybody knows it. It's become literally a phrase saying Facebook or Instagram or Netflix. It's such a popular phrase. How about contact tracing? Did y'all know what contact tracing was before this? Don't lie, you ain't know. Come on, look at you shake your head. I knew you didn't know that. So I think that was cool too, knowing that that came out, where contact tracing now is a phrase that we know what that represents and how that works because of the COVID-19. Super spreader, a phrase that a lot of Donald Trump events popularized. Where you shouldn't have been out there, not having a mask on, y'all all close together, talking about it's a hoax, and then y'all in the hospital 2 days later. Super spreader events, people having parties they shouldn't have, craziness. Sit your behind down. It's gonna be okay. Out here super spreading. That was a phrase that we didn't know. Another phrase, essential workers. A lot of people found out that they were essential that didn't know they were essential. They was like, look, I ain't got a promotion. They talking about I'm essential? Essential. Can I be non-essential and stay my behind at home on a laptop? A lot of y'all found out that y'all was essential. Or people that, I just didn't understand it. Some people that, who are essential workers, I'm just like, man, can y'all get an essential pay raise? You're paying people nothing. Talking about they essential to our well-being. Come on, man. It doesn't make sense to me. Another one is your bubble, or your pod, and everybody knows your bubble is who you rock with. Like they're in my bubble, so they're good. We live in the same house, or they work from home and don't have any visitors and stuff like that. You gotta trust your bubble. I'm gonna tell you right now, because a lot of people out here be talking about that, they in somebody's bubble, but they in about 3, 4, 5 bubbles. You feel me? I ain't gonna snitch on nobody. You know what I feel me? But you got ladies, you better, you gotta watch your bubble, fellas too, because a lot of people are like, I don't see nobody, and they be seeing somebody on the low. Let that sizzle in your spirit. All right, PPE, we all know what that is. A lot of our healthcare workers have it. We wear it when we go to the store, whether it be masks, some of y'all out here rocking the visors, gloves, all those kind of things. Remote learning, which I feel so bad for y'all kids. One thing y'all know about Brandon, I love the kids. And y'all out here remote learning, I feel like that's tough because y'all did not ask for this. I have, nephews who are doing it, and I feel for them. I love them so much, and I know it's been hard for all the kids who had to remote learn, for the teachers as well, because you want to have that, access and everything like that. But we're trying to keep y'all safe. You can't learn if you're not alive, and I think that we're trying to figure that out. But remote learning became one of the phrases that we actually, social distancing was a huge phrase that we never had before. Now we had stuff like, give me my personal space, right? I know the ladies out there, give me my personal space. I've heard y'all say that, you know what I mean? Y'all up in my personal space. But social distancing is now that phrase that now it's in our vocabulary that we didn't have, it's maybe in 2019, 2018, but 2020, we know what social distancing is. It means back up off me, sir. I'm at Whole Foods trying to buy my stuff. You all up on a brother. Back up. All right, and lastly, virtual happy hours. I know many of y'all through it. House party became a big thing. People did Zooms. They did all kind of things, FaceTimes, all kind of things to have a virtual happy hour with your friends. Y'all made it fun. Y'all made it entertaining. You caught up during the week. Some of y'all did cooking classes together and all kind of stuff, and movie nights and all kind of stuff like that to really keep engaged with your friends who you normally might go to a happy hour or something or to go out with. I thought it was really cool that we could do that virtual happy hour and keep it 100 with the crew, right? So I thought I told you that we won't stop. That is the top 10 things that 2020 year in review gave us. Man, oh man, was it a year. Can we all just collectively, y'all just do it with me. Just exhale, 2020 is over. We in 2021. I know it started a little rocky with the Capitol, but we gonna get it this year. I'm telling you, things are about to be brighter, bigger, better, and more blessed. So that's the first episode of the year of a season 2 Kickback Conversations. I'm your boy, Brandon Scott. Please do follow us on Instagram and all of our social media platforms at Kickback Conversations Podcast. Also, do support if you can. Even if you want to chip in $1 on our Patreon and Kickback Conversations, it's $1 a month. $1. Look, y'all spend $1 a month on foolishness. So you can definitely support a Black-owned business. Holla at your boy. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.